Welcome back to Left, Right and Centre, and yet another case of supposed right-wing censorship. A book titled Communalism and Sexual Violence, Ahmedabad Since 1969 by Dr. Mega Kumar has been withheld from release by its publishers Orient Blackswan after they received a legal notice from Dinanath Batra, head of Shiksha Bachao Andolan Samiti and RSS front group. In this case, Dinanath Batra hadn't even objected to Mega Kumar's book, but a book called From Plassey to Partition, A History of Modern India, a book published over a decade ago about what it said on the RSS. But it seems in the light of the legal notice, the publishers decided to identify and review contentious books, those already published as well as those under consideration. But recently, Penguin India settled a lawsuit with the same Dinanath Batra over Wendy Doniger's controversial book, The Hindus, An Alternative History. Are we seeing a dangerous pattern here? And what does this mean for academic freedom in this country? Joining us tonight, Dr. Mega Kumar, author of that book, Communalism and Sexual Violence, Ahmedabad Since 1969. She joins us from Oxford in the United Kingdom. Samit Batra of the BJP continues to be with us. We're also joined by Mallika Sarabhai, a vocal champion of freedom of speech and a dancer herself, and Ruchir Joshi, writer and columnist. But Dr. Mega Kumar, let me begin with you. You're saying that Orient Blackswan, of course, has claimed that this was a pre-release move and that they hadn't released the book, but that's something that you say is not correct. Just take us through exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think your description in the beginning was accurate. The book was printed in mid-April. It was released on Orient Blackswan's website, and the publisher also sold 10 copies. But it was only in mid-May, 19th May to be accurate, the publisher wrote to me saying that they had decided to withhold the distribution of the book. They call it the release, but it's in fact distribution of the book, saying that one of their other books, Plassey to Partition, that has been in publication and circulation for over a decade, has been served a legal notice by the gentleman you referred to. In light of that, the publisher has decided to, in their words, subject my book, perhaps others, to what they call a comprehensive assessment. And they argue that pending the completion of that assessment, and once they've obtained the necessary legal advice, they would distribute the book. I have since then written to the publisher asking them what exactly this comprehensive review entails and when they expect to finish it. You see, the book was submitted in manuscript form over 2 years ago, and since then the book has undergone a very rigorous blind peer review process, which most academics' book undergo, and rightly so. And during that process, all the all the T's were crossed and I's were dotted. And since then they haven't responded to me, so I don't know what their assessment is actually about. And I don't know how much longer that will take.
I think that's a very important point that you're raising over there. This is a book that's already been subjected to stringent peer review, academic review. It was published. You claim 10 copies were even sold. So why this? Why withhold it now? The publishers refused to be part of this program tonight, but they did send us a statement, and I'm going to read out a line which I think is critical in that statement. They talk about how they received this legal notice from Dinanath Batra for the textbook titled From Plassey to Partition. They say that they've reviewed this book. They're not about to withdraw it. This has been in circulation for the last 10 years, and they have decided that there was nothing objectionable in the said textbook. But they also took this legal notice as an opportunity to review other books, and they say that we're reviewing books published as well as those under consideration, and your book, Mega Kumar, is one of them. My point, Ruchir Joshi, is if these books are published already, if they've been subject to some sort of review already, why review them once again now? Books that are already in circulation, that too after a legal notice, that too after perceived threats. What does that really signify?
I think
we're
looking at
the question that you raise is the most important one. The book has been subjected to a very thorough review process.
Okay.
And as authors, as historians, or people from other academic fields, we expect that kind of rigor.
Review.
Because
Okay.
that is, after all,
Mega Kumar, I was actually addressing that question to Ruchir Joshi here, someone who understands the publishing industry rather well. He tracks it very closely also. But why do you think? Was it the subject matter of the book?
I think there's a climate of fear. And to be absolutely fair, there's a new government in. This climate of fear has kind of been there across the first BJP government. In certain ways, it has very much been there across both the 10 years of Congress. And I'm really hoping that all these new beginnings that we're being promised and we all hope will be there, among that, one of the first things to go will be this climate of fear. Because every party, whether it's the communists in Bengal, whether it's Mamata Banerjee in Bengal, whether it's the Congress and Ashok Gehlot backing down in front of all kinds of groups to not fight for Salman Rushdie attending Jaipur festival, and or whether it's the BJP government allowing Hussein's Gufa to be attacked and various other films and books to be attacked. Every major party that I can think of in North India has been guilty of allowing a climate of self-censorship to develop and allowing a climate of gundagiri to attack works of art and works of intellectual endeavor, whether they're books or papers or films or conferences. We are now looking at publishers, because of Wendy, Doniger and Penguin kowtowing to Mr. Dinanath Batra, a terrible precedent. Right. We are now looking at Blackswan and people somersaulting backwards to conduct self-censorship in case they have to face a court case. Now, Blackswan's a small publisher. Penguin is a big, powerful publisher, could have fought Dinanath Batra or whoever else in the courts. Okay? And the second thing I have to say is that these are, whether it's 377 or 295A, these are ancient, rotten laws brought in by the British, as the gentleman in the previous discussion was saying, at the time of the horse carriage. Right? These are not laws that should apply to a time of the 21st century intellectual debate.
Do you also see this as a problem of outdated legislation, or does it go beyond that? And also, are we, apart from activists like Dinanath Batra who are perhaps bringing this issue to the fore by serving these legal notices and so on, by backing down, by capitulating in the way that they're doing, what kind of message do you think publishers are sending out? And are they equally culpable?
I think it goes much beyond just publishers. It goes to writers, it goes to newspaper people, it goes to performers, it goes to writers of screenplays, it goes to producers who want to distribute a film. And it shows two things. One is the great insecurity of the people who actually bring these suits, or the people who actually come and do gundagiri and try and burn down the people. They have absolutely no sense of self-worth that makes them think Hinduism is so large and so strong and it has roots that are so deep that no puny writer is going to be able to shake it. That is my view of Hinduism, because that's what it is. But they feel that anybody, that we are big enough, any single individual is big enough to actually shake the roots of this amazing philosophy. That's number one. Number two is that there is a breakdown in law and order. It is because of the fear of people actually coming and burning down a theater or tearing down a Hussein painting or burning books. This is a law and order situation that successive governments have allowed to go on. And I think it's manifest in many other ways where we have let the rowdy, the hooligan, the bully take over our society and gone into a shell.
Sambit Batra, does this not militate against all our ideas of a modern democracy? When you're talking about an atmosphere of fear, when you're talking about somebody challenging publishers, challenging writers, challenging artists at every stage of the way, what is this? Are you not in a sense, Sangh activists, people like Dinanath Batra, what is it that they're doing?
Ankita, first and foremost, the BJP has nothing to do with all this, but still, since I'm over here, I will put my personal view. See, as Mr. Dinanath Batra is entitled to petition one, similarly, all of them are entitled to move with a lawsuit. to conclude with the lawsuit, but they did not conclude. The penguin thing was settled outside. Why? You are entitled to talk big only when you fight the case till the end, but you never fought the case till the end. So why are we talking about a climate of fear? Are you fearing the law of the country? Are you saying, I mean, it has been said also by Wendy that the laws of India are not the ones which she respects, and I have the quote over here. I don't agree with it. Why? The laws of section 295A in fact have oft been quoted. If section 295A of the Indian Penal Code is there, then we have to respect it, or you talk of repealing it. So if you are not respecting the law, I believe the ones who are not respecting are the ones who are creating a climate of fear. BJP or any other political party.
Yes. Megha, yes.
I mean, I think one of the things that I think it's important to establish is that with regard to my book specifically, there has been absolutely no legal challenge. No notice has been served as far as the publisher has informed me against my book specifically. So debating the merits or the flaws of the law is irrelevant to this case because the law has not been brought into the picture at all. So I think the question here is, is a question that I've been asking the publisher, and I hope that they will respond to you, if not me, why they would subject the book to a review when no such legal challenge has been raised. The only thing they've said to me in the letter is that, is what I've said before, that they want to make sure that no legal contingencies arise in the future, and they add that they're worried that there might be violent attacks against myself as the author, my family, and staff and the offices of the publisher.
Okay, I think that's a very important point that's being made.
I just wanted to add one line over here in the sense that, see, since Dr. Megha's book is between her and the publisher, where does any political party or Dinanath Batra in this particular case fit in?
I think that's very important to raise that question also because of the similarity in responses that we are hearing from two separate
I was reading the statement of Mimi Chaudhary. I was reading the statement of Mimi Chaudhary from the publication, and she goes to say that it is only a pre-release move, and just as any academic book has to be reviewed, it's just been reviewed.
And so that question has been answered.
So I believe it's a question between the publisher and the author.
Why is it being reviewed again?
It's not as simple as that, Mr. Batra. I'm sorry. You see, what happens is the 295, which does need to be repealed, it's a very ancient and very rickety and completely inappropriate law for our times, is that if someone slaps 295 on you, the process of fighting that law is the punishment. Okay? Whether the judge decides that you've caused enmity between people or not is not the point. Okay? The point is someone comes in and slaps 295 or accuses you of 295 and the court takes cognizance of it, your punishment has already begun before you've been pronounced guilty. There is that fear. And along with that, bowling in tandem with that fear, is the fear of the gundas coming in and bashing you up, smashing up your bookstore, burning up stuff. That is a very held back, but the gundas have been released in the past with Arth, with various books, with the attack on the library in Pune, which was NCP and not the Hindutva the family, by the way. But there are all kinds of people who will misuse their muscle to attack intellectual institutions, to attack publishers, to attack cinema halls, and along with that, people will misuse 295A. Now, this vicious thing is like the license Raj. Okay, it's a kind of thing that you have to pay bribe. And it's not, license Raj doesn't just work in the commercial, but this is an intellectual license Raj, which works with the cops coming in to bully you, the gundas coming in, and you have to pay a certain kind of bribe to survive. We cannot have this anymore, and the challenge for the new government, which is only 5 days old or 1 week old, sir, is that Mr. Modi, Ms. Irani, Mr. Rajnath Singh, just a minute, I'll tell you exactly where Mr. Modi comes in. Mr. Modi so far has been at the head of a government in Gujarat which has had a very bad record of allowing Hindutva forces, whether it's Mr. Togadia or the VHP, to get away with all kinds of stuff. Now that he's in charge of India, I would sincerely hope that he, with his new vision, with Mr. Rajnath Singh, with Ms. Irani and the whole cabinet, will bring forth a new climate which fights this climate of fear.
Okay. Dinanath has it made, Richard. I think it's important to stress and keep stressing that this is not just a particular government. We've seen every past government has also had its own blot, whether it was
Ankita, I need to come in over here since a lot of Mr. Modi and Mrs. Smriti Irani has been brought in over here in the discussion. Let me tell you, I mean, the Wendy's case and this particular case took place when Modi government was not in place. I mean, it is only 6 days when Modi government has come into furore. So I believe there is a conscious point of bringing in Modi into everything and trying to create an atmosphere which does not exist.
I want to bring Malika
Ankita, if I may.
Yes.
Just one quick question. I mean, as one of your esteemed panelists mentioned, I mean, he wasn't quite clear whether the book, my book, had been released and whether it's a pre-release assessment. And I can assure you that it does not constitute a pre-release assessment. I have a copy of the book in my hand, which I have bought. You know, it's not an author's copy. It's a copy that I bought. And, you know, I can furnish a bill to prove that. That is point number one. Point number two, with regard to the legal case, as I've said repeatedly, law has not been brought into the picture as far as my book is concerned. But there is an important issue here regardless, which is that if there is a legal, if there were to be a legal case against a particular book, let's say mine for instance, I would at least have scope for redressal. You know, if there was a high court case, I could approach the Supreme Court, seek legal counsel and address it that way. But should the publisher, as they have done in my case, just withdraw the book and not give the author a clear answer, then that raises very difficult questions about how academics are expected to publish their, hard work, really.